Hello and welcome to our virtual open event. We've got another live stream for you, part of our Tuesday. So we're focusing on our Abbey Park campus today. So it's very exciting. Our next session, so this session is all about access courses, which is a different kind of level 3 qualification. We're talking you through a little bit as we go through. But before I start rambling on and make mistakes, let me introduce you to an expert in access courses, Leslie. So hi, Leslie, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. Do you want to sort of tell us a little bit about who you are and then maybe a little bit about what access courses are as well?
Absolutely. So hello, everybody. My name is Leslie Atkin. I am the Programme Area Manager for Access to Higher Education at Leicester College. And I've been working for the college for about 18 years or so, which is quite a long time. So I've been through an access to higher education kind of journey with all the changes that have happened over the last few years. But let me tell you a little bit about the access courses that we do at the college before you can have the opportunity to listen to the course leaders for the different access courses who'll tell you a lot more about their own courses. So just to give you a bit of background, access to higher education courses were first introduced in the 1970s. The idea, and it's still the case, is that it's an opportunity for adults who don't have the qualifications to go to university to get those qualifications without having to do A-level courses, for example. So access courses were introduced as an adult course, which very much academic and very much covering the same content as A-levels. But unlike A-levels, which take 2 years, the access courses are 1 year intensive level 3 diploma, which gives you the equivalent qualifications for an adult to be able to go into university. So they've been around for a long time. They used to be for adults who were over sort of 24, but the age range now has come down. So you have to be 19 to be able to take an access course. Yeah, so it's really important that you are 19 on the 31st of August, I think it is, of the year that you wish to take the course. And all the different types of access course that we've got here in the college give you the opportunity, whatever your progression aims, to get to university in quite a short space of time, really. So UK universities are very happy to accept access qualifications. They have been for a long time. They're very understanding and very supportive of adult applicants to their courses, and they very often put on specific kind of events and taster days and open days just for our access students. And we've certainly got some really good relationships with our regional universities in that respect. Here at the college, we do have one of the biggest, kind of the largest, widest offers for access courses in the East Midlands. So we've got an access to science programme, we've got access to business, access to engineering, access to science, access to humanities, access to computing, and access to social science. So 7 different courses running, which gives just about everybody the opportunity to benefit from an access programme before they go on to university. Huge number of progression routes from those access programmes, which I'm sure the individual course leaders will talk to you about in a little bit of detail. They are all based, sorry, either here at the Abbey Park campus, although we do have computing and business at our St Margaret's campus, which is only around the corner from the Abbey Park campus, if you know it. And we're obviously quite a close team, so we do a lot of meetings together, and we do our very best to make sure that we support each other in supporting our students and their progression aims. As I say, the courses are 1 year long, so from September to the following June in an academic year, we get you started with your UCAS application as soon as you arrive. So you really do need to kind of do some research before you start so that you've got an idea of what sort of course you'd like to do at university. And we take you through and hold your hand throughout that UCAS process until it's due in just before Christmas. We write your references, we help you with your personal statement, and we make sure in the course content that what you actually study with us is going to give you a good grounding for the degree that you're going to be going on to do at university. And obviously that's very specific to each Access course. What they do have, which A-levels and BTECs don't, is that they have embedded within them a set of study skills units which help you with things like research and referencing, presentation skills, preparing for a controlled assessment. What else have we got? Essay writing skills in preparing for a written assignment, etc. So lots of academic study skills and practical ones, which help you to be prepared for the demands of university study. It's the same with assessment methods. So, you know, we look at what the universities are doing in terms of their assessment for your subject area, and we mirror that as much as possible so that you feel really kind of confident and well prepared when it's time for you to go to university. We have got some fantastic success stories from Access courses. Hopefully each of the programme leads will talk to you about some specific examples from their courses, but you know, our students go far and wide, as well as local. They go on, you know, into the kind of realms of academia in some cases. You know, we've got our ex-students, you know, who have got doctorates, but we've also, more importantly, got ex-students who are, you know, fully gainfully employed in, you know, what they set out to do, with very, very good careers, which started with Access. So they are very, very important courses for adults. They really are an opportunity for you to study with like-minded people, your own age. And most of them find it really fun and keep in touch with us. So
amazing. So they're really useful for students who want to go to university. It's definitely like a really shoe-in way of getting into university. And everyone's very friendly, which you'll find out by in the next sort of couple of minutes as I introduce everyone. So if you're ready, Leslie, I'll bring on the whole gang and we can have a chat. So first off, we've got Nicola. So hi, Nicola. How are you doing?
Hello. Hi. Hello, everybody out there.
Do you want to sort of introduce yourself and your course as well?
Right, absolutely. My name's Nicola and I'm the programme lead for Access Health Professions. And my students generally want to go into nursing, midwifery or any allied health profession. And we were talking about, Leslie was just mentioning their success stories. And one of my favourites, although it's not a doctorate or anything like that, but one of my former students from Access was on Inside the Ambulance. She's now a paramedic. And so it was quite interesting watching her on television, because I remember her as a student who was a little bit shy, but really, really dedicated, but not the highest academic performer at the beginning of the year, but by the end of the year, she'd really grasped it. She knew where she was going. And it was so reassuring seeing her on that programme, seeing how far she'd come. And she's just one of the students that we've got who has really made a success of it since doing the Access programme. In order to get onto my programme, because the universities are asking for it, for midwifery you need 6 GCSEs as well, and 2 of those have got to be Bs, and that includes 1 B in biology. That's if you want to go to either De Montfort or Leicester. Other universities like Northampton will take a lower tariff for midwifery, but I like to point that out early on because midwifery is incredibly popular, and rather than saying, oh yeah, everything will be fine, we'll make it all right, and just taking you onto the course, I say no, this is what you need, otherwise you're not going to get to where you want to be. So being realistic from the start. Other nursing courses, 5 GCSEs or equivalent, take international qualifications. We also take BTECs at level 2. And some universities leave and accept functional skills. We'll take all of those students and hopefully get you to where you want to be. There's 30 credits of biology on my course, so it's accepted by all universities offering nursing and midwifery. We also have operating department practitioners. We have occupational therapists, a broad range of people wanting to go into health professions from this course. And the course is an intensive one-year course, as Leslie said, and we start the UCAS right at the very beginning. It's important to me for your progression that you have at least done a virtual or a real open day at the university, so you know which branch of nursing that you're going into. But also it really helps if you've got either voluntary or paid experience in the healthcare sector, simply because the admissions tutors don't want to take a risk on somebody that actually, it turns out, can't stand the sight of blood when there are 40 applicants for every midwifery place and 20 applicants for every nursing place at university. So to give yourself the best chance, voluntary work is fine in the healthcare sector, but also if you have got paid work, all of that experience is what makes Access students so successful at interview, because the universities are confident in what we deliver.
Fantastic. So it's really important that you have that idea of where you want to go, which I'm sure will be the same for all the Access courses today, because it's really, really important that you get, as soon as you get the ball rolling, that you know exactly where you want to go, what kind of thing you want to study, so that you guys can help them move on to that, which is so important. So moving on to our next area now, we're jumping over to our St Margaret's campus briefly for the day and talking a little bit about Access to Business. And we're joined by Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Ashton. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So
Good.
I'm the Access to HE Business program lead, and it's a really interesting course. It's if you're not sure quite what area of business you want to go into and you want to keep your options a little bit open, it gives you real flexibility, because on the business course, we study not just pure business subjects like management and marketing and leadership, but we also study a number of business finance, bookkeeping and accountancy modules, and also other subjects, including 3 law modules, contract law, employment law and consumer law modules. So by taking the Access to Business course, it allows you to progress onto a huge range of business related programs at university. In previous years, I've had students to go on and study various combinations of finance, accountancy, business topics, business studies, management, marketing, international management, international marketing, and various law degrees. So if you're thinking about moving into that commercial sector and looking for a university course that fits you, then the Access to Business program is great, because it gives you a really solid grounding in all those areas. And even if you decide to go on and study law or accountancy at university, actually having that basic understanding in all those subject areas will set you up in terms of your business skills and understanding for life, really. So to come on to my business course, I'd expect you to ideally have your GCSEs at grade C, level 4, in maths and English. Although if you had one of those and perhaps the other in functional skills, or you had a number of other GCSEs and you're prepared to work towards retaking either maths or English, I may also still look at an application from here. Other than that, the assessment on the course is quite intensive. As Leslie pointed out earlier on, the Access courses are really intensive one-year programs. So on the Access to Business course, you would find yourselves doing quite a lot of written assignments. So there'll be quite a number of business report style writing, essay writing. You'll also deliver some academic presentations in the subject areas that you're working in, and there'll be things like bookkeeping exams or assignments to do alongside that. So if you decided to take the Access to Business course, you probably expect to be submitting an assignment every week or so during the program on average. So quite a lot of coursework to do, but not really exam based, which is how most business courses at universities are assessed these days. Like Leslie said, I think the programme is really diverse, and not only does it give you a real taste of all of those different subject areas, it also really develops all of those skills you need to be successful at university study afterwards. And we've had students in previous years who've gone on to win academic scholarships at various different universities. I've got a student this year who's applying to Cambridge University. So again, as Leslie said, taking an Access course really is an opportunity to open your horizons and look at all kinds of higher education opportunities afterwards. So if you're interested, get in touch.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Rachel. So again, it's really getting you used to what it's like to study at university, because it can be quite intense when you're at university. It's a lot of a lot of assessments that go on. So it's really important that you get that taste before you get really into the full 3 years and pay all that money to study it. So it's good to get that experience beforehand. So heading back over to our science labs now at APC, we're going to be joined by Dr. Anne, who's going to talk about our access to science courses. Hi, Anne. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Not too bad, thanks.
Right. Hello, everyone. I'm Anne Burnell, and I'm the programme lead for the Access to Science course. Okay. And I mean, the Access to Science course, the sort of courses that our students go on to, I really divide them into two main categories, if you like. People who want to go on to, if you like, the more pure science courses. So we send people off to do sort of chemistry, biological sciences, zoology. But a lot of our students go on to look at more sort of vocational courses, you know, pharmacy, physiotherapy, radiography, dental hygiene, veterinary nursing. We even had someone go off to do gemology once as well, which was really interesting. A lot of our students go off to do biomedical sciences as well. The course, though, won't get you into a medicine course. I think that is an important factor to point out to people. You know, teaching on an Access course, the main subjects we do are biology and chemistry. There is some level 3 maths on there as well, some statistics, and you get the opportunity to carry out a practical scientific project as well, which I think is really useful for people who are going on to university to do all of these practically based subjects. You know, it gives you experience in report writing, and you know, develops your observational skills and your practical skills as well. What I would say is that if you are thinking of doing an Access course to go on to university, as my colleagues have said, check the university requirements, check the small print that the university are looking for. Because again, I think, as Nicola said, for some of her health related courses, if you're thinking of doing some physiotherapy or radiography, then the universities will want to see that you've done some sort of like work shadowing, or you've got some experience in that field. I appreciate that that might be a bit difficult to arrange at the moment, given the current restrictions, but approach the hospitals and just see what they say. And I think on an Access course, it's not like being in school when you know, everyone seems to be in competition with each other. With Access students, it's a wonderful community because they're all in the same boat. Everyone's got this common goal of going to university, but their paths are all, you know, their end paths are different. And Access students are all sort of terribly supportive of each other, and you'll get an awful lot of support from the staff as well. So, yeah, if you're interested in science, then GCSE English and Maths, of course, and you know, preferably if you've got a GCSE in a science. Thank you.
Fantastic, thanks, Anne. So it's quite important to note as well is that a lot of students on Access courses are over 19. So there are adults that might be going back into looking for a career change. So everyone is on, you know, different paths, but also on a similar path. So not everyone's no one thinks that they're better or they're doing different things. It's really important that you have that awareness. The last person that we're introducing, last but definitely not least, is Debbie. We're talking about social science and humanities, I believe.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Ashton. My name is Debbie Saker, and I'm the programme lead for the humanities and the social science pathways. They are two separate pathways in which, in the social science pathway, the students will study about 50% of the programme is sociology, and the other 50% is psychology. Students come to that pathway really with an interest in things like psychology, sociology, obviously, but also things like criminology, law, international relations, counselling, social work, those type of professions. And the access to social science will get you into all of those different careers, different degrees at university. The humanities pathway is slightly different in as much as the content is different. And that's for people who want to do things such as English and history. Again, law, you could look at that pathway, teaching, international relations, English literature, geography, because the timetable and the content of that course is divided between English and history, and then a little bit of geography thrown in there. The English modules are quite varied. You'll look at different texts. You'll look at a bit of Shakespeare. You'll look at a little bit of poetry. The emphasis with the English is to learn how to analyse texts and to break them down and to write about them and see them from different viewpoints. The history part of the humanities course is really interesting. Leslie is our history teacher, and she teaches some really interesting stuff about civil rights, about American history, about the Holocaust, some stuff about English history, British history. And so obviously there's some politics in there for those people who are interested in the political side of things. The geography side, which is quite a small part of the programme, but again, you can dip your toe into the water of geography if you're interested, and you'll do a unit on conservation and one on pollution as well. Now, for both of these pathways, the entry requirements are the same. GCSEs in English and Maths, grade C or grade 4 or above. But again, if you've only got one of them, we sometimes allow students to do the other one alongside the Access course if their circumstances allow. Obviously, Access courses are for mature students, and we understand that people have jobs and children and all sorts of other things. But if you can fit it into your life and if it's appropriate for you, then we will allow students to do the other GCSE alongside their Access. But that, Access courses are intensive. We've established that. So, it's on a personal basis of what people can deal with. As far as success stories is concerned, we've had a lot of students who've been very successful in social work. A lot of the social workers in Leicester started their life at Leicester College doing our Access courses. We still keep in touch with a lot of those people, and they are, they enjoyed their experience on Access and often report that it made a really good grounding for them for university. Particularly, Access courses are very good at allowing students and giving students the ability to become very independent learners. So although there's lots of support, we like to lead up to the end of the course where we think that you can go off to university and study as an independent learner with much less support than you would have had at Leicester College. And being an independent learner is really important for university because you need to be motivated and you need to know how to study on your own. So that's really important. Success stories from our humanities pathway is our very recent success story with a student who managed to get into Cambridge University to study history. So we're really happy about her. She's going to keep in touch with us and let us know how she gets on. But particularly Leslie's very happy about that one because it's her subject. So she must have done a good job there. So that's the humanities and social science pathway. If you're interested in any of those subjects, then obviously get in touch with us. We like to get in touch with our students and make a relationship with them before they even apply, if possible, so we can have a dialogue about what's best for them and what courses are the most appropriate for them. So don't be afraid to get in touch with us. We're very open to that kind of contact. So that's me. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, everyone. That's sort of, I'm going to call you guys the Spice Girls of Access courses. I'll let you decide who's who amongst yourselves. So there's a couple of questions that I do have sort of following on a bit about Access courses, and people might be watching at home. If you are watching at home and do you have any questions, do pop them in the comments, and a wonderful team will answer those for you. But a couple of questions that I have, I think one that might be sort of burning for people is, do students have to pay to do an Access course? Obviously, because it's an over 19 course, they have to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it depends on their individual circumstances. So if they are aged 19 to 23 and they don't have a full level 3 qualification yet, then they actually don't have to pay any fees for the Access course. They will get fee remission for that. However, if they're 24 plus, they do have to take out an advanced learner loan to cover the cost of the fees for Access. The absolutely fantastic, unique selling point of Access is that if you take out an advanced learner loan for an Access course, go on to university and complete your degree, that proportion of your advanced learner loan is actually written off. So it's almost like you're getting, the Access program for free at the end of it. So, either way, it's a win-win situation. Although, of course, we do have some students who choose to pay their own fees so that, if they don't meet the kind of residency requirements, etc. But usually you don't have to pay fees directly.
Fantastic, thank you. So there's a thing called in Access courses called a pre-entry assessment. Do you want to sort of explain what a pre-entry assessment is before we get into it?
I think obviously things have changed slightly because of COVID. We used to do in previous years, we've done sort of small group interviews, and we do like to do a quick sort of 10-minute free writing test with our students, just to gauge that they've got the skills that we think that they would need to sort of start the course on the right footing, but also so we can pick up any queries or problems, so extra support could be put in place. I think the pre-entry assessments mainly are about if a student needs to pick up a GCSE alongside an Access course, or they need to take a full set of GCSEs to get onto Nicola's health professions course. There are some pre-entry assessments in English and maths that they will need to take, and they're quite, they're sort of an hour long. They do quite, that students show quite developed skills to be able to pass the GCSE in a year. So those are organised well in advance of the courses starting, and the person to speak to about those would be Amy Norman, who's in charge of our GCSE programmes for adults. But generally speaking, we just on Access courses may do a quick free writing exercise.
Fantastic, thank you. So sort of, do you guys have any advice or we'll go with advice for students that are looking to study an Access course on any of your courses? Anything that you'd like to sort of not warn them about, but just give them a heads up about, or any advice that you have for them as if they're sort of nervous about starting an Access course?
I think shall I take that one?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
I think the thing that I would suggest is, or reassure students really, is that Access courses are for mature students. There is no expectation that the minute you walk in the door you can write the perfect essay, or that you know how to reference, or that you know how to go and research in the library. Access courses are there to teach you how to do those things and to support you while you learn how to do those things. So if you've been out of education, that's fine. We don't expect you to have all those skills in place at the beginning of the course. The other thing I would suggest is that before you start an Access course is that you've done a bit of research, as Leslie suggested, on what it is you want to do at university, what the entry requirements are for that course, so that you can make sure that you're tailoring your educational path to meet those requirements. So doing a bit of research, looking at the universities, looking at the modules on the courses, and what's being offered, so that you come fully prepared to know what you're aiming for when you get to the Access course.
Fantastic. Anne, is there anything you'd like to add as well?
Well, I fully endorse what Debbie said. The only other thing I would add is, just remember that it is an intensive course, which I think has been mentioned, several times, in the last half hour. But I think, sometimes when you tell people that when they come for interview, it sort of goes, they don't always take notice of how intensive it is. But always a few weeks into the course, people remind me, they said, well, Anne, you said it was intensive at interview, and it is. So, but, that's the nature of a course at this level, and it'll be the nature of any courses that they do at university.
Definitely. Anything else anyone would like to add before we wrap up? No? Fantastic. Cool. Well, that comes to the end of our Access course session then. And if you do have any other questions, you can message us on all of our social media, or you can email us info@leicestercollege.ac.uk, and your question will be passed on to our wonderful team here, and they'll be able to answer it for you. But for now, I'll leave you off with the, I don't know where I was going with that sentence. I lost myself in the middle there. Next session that we have for you is our careers team. We'll be joining Victoria to talk a little bit about general Q&A about level 3 and beyond qualifications. So do join them for that. But for now, we'll say thank you for watching, and we'll see you a bit later on. See you later. Bye.